All right, what's going on? What is going on? Hey guys, Kelly, Joe, what is going on? Glad to see you guys. Ryan, good to see you. Apologize for my tardiness. I didn't want anybody panic. Hope they didn't um stop and then leave since I wasn't live. Yeah. Yeah, for those of you not in the know, I feel a lot better. So since Tuesday afternoon is when I tested positive for the COVID. So almost 3 years, almost to the breakout. It's been searching for me. It's been searching for me, high and low, and it found me. uh, oh man, Joe, that sucks. Oh, I would be like, dude, I would leave my driveway buried. Frankly, I might not have had a choice. It seemed like anything I did was just so exhaustive, like just not fun at all. Wish that upon nobody. Um, what's up, Hoos? Yeah, it's searching for us all for sure. Doctors are saying it's coming for those that it's missed in the first round. So I'm on antiviral, which has probably helped out a lot. And I'm like, right now, it's like I got a little residual congestion, like a little pressure in the ears, popping every once in a while. But I gotta tell you what, today compared to like Tuesday, Wednesday, probably most of Thursday, it was just full of suck. It, you know, every time I get sick, I'm like, oh, I get sick, and I'll just lay around and read books or RPGs or something, and then I'm like, I don't want to do anything at all. Like, I just want to be in a dark room with a lot of heat. I Tuesday night I went to the emergency room. My wife took my temperature and I was at 102. So we went to the emergency, called the health place. I said, I don't know if I want to go in. We called in the health place, and he said, okay, check. You should probably go in. So I went in, and then I think the docs were like, why are you here? So I'm like, dude, I got COVID. So then they said, okay, well, I go, what, like, what's my temp? And I had 102 temp. They're like, well, it's not 102, it's 99. So either it dropped, which is possible because my wife did give me something to kick it, um, ibuprofen to keep it down. So I just came back after waiting long periods of time for people to just like take my vitals and look at me. And so anyways, that was about it. That's it. So like since then, I've been secluded in my wonderful studio here on an air mattress. I'm kind of low today. If I move my camera angle a little higher, I think makes me look shorter. So my wife had not gotten it yet um, until yesterday. So she tested positive Friday. So Tuesday, right? Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday, Thursday to Friday. So she went about 3 days without being positive. My father, crazy enough, I think that the same event that he and I went to, which is my sister's birthday soiree, I think is where I got it. He's fine. He went with me, which is good because he's no spring chicken. So far he is negative. But yeah, I feel better. Residual wise, I have a little every once in a while the pressure in my ear. It's like a little weird, but it's 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 not. It seems as though it's not permanent. Um, Behave, Augie. My taste and smell. I never was a big smeller. My wife's always like, "Can you smell that?" I'm like, "No, I can't smell anything," because usually I'm so congested anyway, or allergies or something. But taste seems fine. Dry mouth, parched all the time. Maybe due to some of the medicine I was taking, like for congestion and stuff to dry me out. But anyways, yeah, I didn't want to. I thought I was going to game with the guys on Thursday. And it was kind of ebbing and flowing. Like there was times where I'm like better, and then I would slide it back into this crap. The aches were hard. Yeah, just achy. Was a big problem, I would say. I don't know. I'm no spring chicken either. Like I think my nephew's got it, and he probably shrugged it off in a day. Reminds me of the scene from Mission Impossible with Henry Cavill or whatever, Cavill. He's like, that's what I call shaking it off. So again, I don't trust boy. So yeah, here I am, feeling much better. Now I get to take care of my wife. Full circle. So, anyways, Eileen, congratulations on the new job. Harrigan, good to see you. Yeah, feeling much better. Much better. But now, I'm conscious of going out anywhere, right? I don't want to get anybody sick. So, and it was always weird. Like, I'd be in my basement, my wife would call me up for something, and I'd put my mask on, go upstairs, you know, either take medicine or let a dog out or something, and then um come back downstairs, take the mask off. It's like being weird. It's weird being isolated in your own home, but it worked. I mean, it's unlucky to have the space that we have, although it's very crowded. I turn my camera over, but like this spot where I stand would be where the air mattress is. Right now I haven't taken it down. It's sitting up on its side over there, but my rooms are so small you can't. That's why it's hard to game in my house, because there's just no space. The rooms are so small. But anyways, yeah, it is the first time. Orcus Dorcas, yeah, my first time. Yep. 3 years. I thought, man, it's kind of surprising I've gone this long. And I've gone on flights, I've gone on airplanes. I've gone on airplanes on mast. I've gone to, conventions on mast. All right, that's enough. This guy, Aggie, you cannot be up here. See, culprit. He does exist. That's enough. Here, come here. Yeah, so it's surprising. I mean, being in certain places unmasked, but I think the key, and I would probably be a little more conscious of it. My sister had her 50th birthday, and she is a freaking clown. Um, she's the one that she threw herself her own her own surprise party for her 40th birthday. And so my sister's quite the character. And so she had her 50th and had a band. The band had to bowed out because of some guy had a cardiac aortic valve issue or something crazy. Regardless, we drove down 2 hours to this party my sister was having at this one place. And you could probably just go, this is bad news. A lot of people, a lot of loud music. The only way I could hear anybody is if I was like in their face, which was just probably disaster. So I'm sure I got it from somebody I talked to. Brain fog, I'm not sure yet. I haven't had it. haven't had to do anything brain intensive, so I'm not sure if I have a lot of brain fog. I feel okay, like in that regard. But I mean, I've been. I feel like one of those, this is probably a bad analogy, but I feel like one of those, the three sisters that were put in the ground with the cellar doors and never allowed outside or anything, and for like 10 years, because I've been in this basement for so long every day, and I just, it's like this. I'm not wanting to go anywhere or do anything. Just want to rest. So, um, yeah, but much better. Much better. I got a little stuffiness, cough yesterday on occasion, and that's about it. Now I feel like it's like I've felt better, or I've felt worse on temporary allergy attacks. So I'm much better. Thank you. Anyways, glad to be here. Glad I could make it to Saturday. I called in sick every day this week. I'm like, I'm not even gonna like worry about it. If they say, hey, don't do anything, I'm not gonna do anything. Sometimes I feel like, I think at one point my concern was I didn't have a huge appetite. So I think when you get sick, what is it? Feed a cold, starve a fever, feed a fever, starve a cold. I don't know which way it is. But yeah. Oh, don't Wayne, I have these Augie, he does that to make me mad. Crap in the freaking litter box, not bury it. Yeah, then I gotta get up, shove some stuff, litter on it. But I didn't have a lot of big appetite, and your stomach, you don't eat, your stomach shrinks probably, right? So my fear was like, okay, I kick this thing, and then I don't have any strength to do anything because I'm just so weak. But it's come around. I had a sandwich yesterday, and much better. Yeah, I just took ibuprofen and sweated it for a week, and then had another week of being zombified. I was about to get my booster when it hit me. Oof. Yeah, I think I'm twice. I'm vaxxed, boosted, and vaxxed. So I'm twice vaxxed and boosted, I think. I can't remember the sequence. It was like it came out, I got the vaccination, then I got it boosted, then it came out again, and I got another vaccination. My card's right over there, but I'm like as far along as I could be. The trick was, so you can qualify for the antivirus. So one is by Merck and whatever it's called, and then there's another one, and I couldn't take one because I'm on Advair. But it runs you through the gamut checklist to make sure, because the supply is so low. So they literally screen people that day, determine what the supply is, and if there's enough, they'll call you and say, "Hey, we'll fill it for you," or if the demand, or if you're a priority. And I don't know what time frame they sum that up in, but I got a call from a nurse probably late afternoon, and then I didn't get the call. Actually, when I got tested, then I called my doc and let them know. The nurse probably didn't call me for a couple hours after that, and then they said, "Okay, well, you qualify for it, but it's going to be this one, because it would conflict with my asthma treatment." So, anyways, like, you guys really want to know my freaking health, and I'm sure it's really awesome to just put it out there on YouTube for everybody, including insurance companies, which I'm sure they're just loving it. So yeah, much better. Don't try to get it. It's a miserable couple days for sure. And I think that, I mean, the thing that some people have some pretty wicked side effects going afterwards, right? They got the brain fog, some of the not more, well, I guess it's more serious, but the longer lasting things that come out of it. I don't know what that looks like. so far I'm okay, and I hope that it remains that way. So missed a good game, I'm sure. I've heard the Phil man. I had to get it. I got a kick out of the thread that Harrigan was ripping Hyperborea apart on the Discord, showing his opinion. I gotta say, man, it's that reminds me of the old AD&D stuff. And man, I don't know how we played that damn game. I really don't. It was like, I don't know if we used any of the rules. I don't know if I would ever play. I mean, I'm tempted to go in there and just take my AD&D books that I had when I was 13 and just get rid of them. Like, what am I going to do with these things? Orange RPG, good to see you. So if I haven't said hello, Nubis, see ya. I see most of you there. Thanks for joining. I was just going through I was just giving you my background of the last week of my health. So I think I have DVR enabled that you can actually rewind this real time and play it from the beginning. Dude, I don't understand how any of that shit's fun anymore. Like, you can't memorize any of that crap. I don't know. I don't know. You can't memorize any of that crap. I'm like pooing on everybody's games. But anyways, let's open it up. The one question I was going to ask you guys to kind of kick things off, rather than going to my diatribe with, COVID, is your favorite character you ever had? Not your character story, but your most favorite character, their name, like class, like why were they your favorite? That probably doesn't even matter. It could just favorite. How it was your favorite could be they lived a long time, or they just had a lot of flair, but something around that, like a 1 or 2 sentence, like. So, for example, one of my favorite characters that I've played was Cyrus Cole, who was a swashbuckler. I think he was a swashbuckler. I think he was a smuggler, swashbuckling type Star Wars character I had with with my version of the Australian accent. Would have been one of my favorites. And I played him for a couple years because he was the guy I created when I stepped down from game mastering in the Living Force campaign that I ran for a long time. Favorite character. Be a positive force. Yeah, maybe that's an excuse. I've had a change in life, Wayne. COVID has made me see things through a different lens. Life's too short to be butterflies, rainbows, and unicorn farts. It's toughened me, it hardened me up. Well, hey-o. Not like that. Is it yelling at Harrigan, or Harrigan yelling at the world? I have a stack behind me. I have a stack behind me of books that I'm gonna get rid of. I don't know if I'm gonna put them on eBay, and I don't think it's done yet. Because I added one today, and I started it about a week ago. Favorite PC name: Jinx, knife fighter rogue, based off of Brad Pitt in the movie Snatch. Tons of fun. I don't think I've seen that movie. I know of it, but I haven't seen it. What was the question? Your favorite character, sir, Orcus Dorcas, that you've ever played, like Orange RPG put out there. Exactly what I'm looking for. Like your favorite PC you ever played. Like what game was it in? Like, what were they? Like, 1 sentence elevator pitch. Mine was Cyrus Cole. Cyrus Co. That's right. You call that a vibroblade? Only 100 stormtroopers? Yeah, it's like that's a Monday. AD&D campaign 80 to 83. Fëanor, Ranger, only original PC of that game. Wow, only original PC. So you must have been playing with a few others. Boromir, Faramir. There was another one I had, Magranus Stiven. He's like I think I got him up to like 9th level fighter. He was the highest AD&D character I ever had. Kasha, no kidding. Wow. That's wow, that's not too far. I mean, playing as long as people have played, I'm surprised that one it's bubbled up to the top here again. Although I have to say, she is quite the character for sure. So I've witnessed that. She's fun. Favorite PC? Y'all have those? Cries it forever. Larry, come on, Larry. Larry, for you, favorite NPC? It's got to be recurring though. Do you have a recurring NPC? Please tell me you do. Oh, excuse me. My buddy Dustin, man, he had the constable. That's what he was known as, the constable. He would show up every once in a while. He was ruthless. Just showed up to make our lives miserable. The constable. Never knew his real name. Just knew him as the constable. Laramie, good to see you, buddy. Braidwood. It was the PC I learned D&D on. Started as a paladin, ended as a fighter. Oh, there's a story there somewhere. See, isn't this interesting? Like, you could literally put just that in there, and there's a story. There is a story there. Braidwood, first PC that he learned D&D on. So, tells me Laramie learned D&D at some point. And started as a paladin, ended as a fighter. So, fallen paladin. That's interesting. Kelly says, Shauna... Got my glasses. Duncern. I'm going to butcher it. In a vampire LARP, she was born into the Greater Giovanni family and would have been embraced into the clan as well, except she had her first change as a werewolf first. Let's see. Very nice. Cyrus Co. Well, we should probably get in that junk. Heap of junk and get out of here. Little twisted upbringing. Kelly, you little goth. Got a little goth girl in you. It's okay. Brett was goth. Don't let him kid you. Wayne. Well, let's back it up. Orcus Dorcas. Gargle Steadfast. You just made that up. Don't lie. Gargle Steadfast, magic user, AD&D, talked and acted like Dr. Smith. Eventually died playing Russian roulette with a wand of many things. Oh, the pain, the pain. Wayne Hamilton Fisk. We should write all these down. We got all these NPCs we could use in our next RPG. Hamilton Fisk. How do I know that? Hamilton Fisk. Hamilton Fisk, isn't that... Who's the bad guy in Daredevil? Right? Fisk? Isn't that his name? Kingpin? Look at that. Hey-oh, comic reference. AKA the Mighty Thew, a brick politician in Champions RPG. Oh, look at that. Not far from the mark. Played him for 8 years. Many ups and downs. Ryan. Sir Dirk, third level paladin. Oh, third edition paladin. Backstory was that he had been de-leveled by undead. It took age penalties to stats. Wow. Hardcore, man. Laramie, well, the fallen paladin bit was mostly because it was dumb teenager doing dumb teenage things, and the GM didn't think the paladin should have. He was right, yeah. Wilson Fisk. That's right. Thank you, Laramie. Carlton Fisk. Yep, I had Carlton Fisk like poster. I don't know why, because I wasn't a fan of the White Sox. Yeah, he was catcher. Yeah, Orange RPG. Look at the sports ball. Comic reference, sports ball reference. I'm firing on all cylinders today, ladies and gentlemen. I know, right? I know. There are two things I'm not like very well versed in anymore. Tad. Good to see you. Timic started as a Pathfinder summoner with a giant fire wolf eidolon named Gina. Then we switched our game to 5e and he became a wizard, and that spirit animal became a real direwolf. Sweet. Kind of want to have a comic trivia night versus Eileen. You do know, I think her and Brandon had a podcast that did comics, right, Eileen? If I'm not mistaken. I think you're selling yourself short. Gargle was my high school character. So not made up, just a teenaged mindset. Okay, fair enough. It was Brandon's podcast. Yeah. So what's new in RPGs? They've been out a few days. Anything new? Interesting? Any OGL drama? Any drama at all? Chris, who is your favorite RPG character? Who's one of your favorite RPG characters you've ever played? Like who are they? Why are they special? I have a sneeze coming on. Longest podcast experience was I was lucky enough to do the intro to a very special episode of GBS. Yeah, that's true. Wasn't the last one though, or was it? Technically, I didn't put out Brett's last appearance yet. I could extract that and put it in the Gaming and BS audio feed. I think my favorite is Ithlana, my half-elf sorcerer that I'm cosplaying in my profile picture. Oh, very well. All right. Shall we get to some stuff? Yeah, probably. Chris says his name was Alec Devereaux. Was a Devereaux, not the French kind though. He was a swashbuckling House of Deneth fighter. I played 40 sessions in a 4E D&D Eberron game. He was my take on Spider-Man if Spider-Man was a fighter. Very cool. Yeah, man. There's so much character in them, right? Like the ones we like really appreciate. Sean, check out the Shadow Dark Kickstarter totals. Oh God, do I? Should I? Is it crazy? I didn't go in on it, like, because I need that game like a hole in the head. I think you've seen the whole setup at GHC, Sean. I might have. There was a bit of drama kerfuffle over the Shadow Dark Kickstarter, but not really worth mentioning the person having a stink over it. Over 500K, nice. Oh, Pundit? Oh, a Pundit. Oh, that's nice. Let me guess, they decided to put something in the rules. Something was divulged and Pundit went off. And then, whatever. Oh, I dressed up this character for Halloween Gamehole. Okay. See. Brain fog. I don't remember that. Excuse me, I don't remember that. I remember that Gamehole con, but I don't remember how everybody was dressed. But very cool. Got it. Thank you for helping me out. Thank you for helping me out. All right, so let's start with this. This was interesting, I thought, which is going to create some dialogue as things take shape. Paizo bans AI art and content in its RPGs, including community-created work. So if you want art and you're doing it for Paizo, you gotta hire an artist. Yeah, how do people feel? Like, look, support the artists. I get it. I truly get it. But some people don't have the money to do it. Although Kevin Saltheart mentioned even on the Discord, he was like, support the artists. He said that he's doing Burn 2D6 and you can find stock art from artists relatively affordable. So, how do people feel about this? Like, and how do they tell? I guess you could tell. Some AI artists like, that's AI art, right? Human professionals, damn, and my dog is doing so well with his watercolor classes. Yeah. You work by human professionals. With the sudden rise of cheap, easy to use AI art and text generators changing how different creative fields approach their business, ethical and legal questions about the use of computer generated work are becoming more common and heated. Like me just talking about this and saying, well, I don't know. People could come in here and fry me. Get him! Because, you know, if the RPG hobby has one thing, it's it's pitchforks and torches sometimes. Oh, I love you guys. I love the community. Poor AI already being discriminated against. This is why Terminator happens. Well, yeah. Skynet, I mean, given what the Discord looks like, it's pretty easy to tell. I mean, you know, hands, yes, sometimes. But I just saw a YouTube video. I haven't watched it, but it was like the prompts to use to get good art. So, you know, if you got the good prompts, right, and you tell it correctly, I bet you can. I mean, I had some cool AI art, man. I'm going to show you some stuff. Hopefully I'll be able to access it. Because I'm like, whoa, this is pretty damn cool. I will show you what I came up with, and it was not very hard to come up with. And it was a lot better than some of the stuff that came up on our Discord, for sure. Let me bear with me for just 1 second as I like maneuver my cloud, move the cloud brain fog out of the way. And I find, I think it's, of course. Oh, here it is. Great. Fantastic. Let's see if I can find, because I was like, this is pretty freaking cool. This is not what I want. That's one. Now I'll probably have to figure out how to share this. Whoa, where'd that go? No, I don't want to print it. I did. Okay, if you want to open it, don't print it. So let's see if I can. Let's see if I can share this for a second. And I will, let's see if I can minimize this maybe. Yeah, it didn't matter. But check that out, man. Dragon. And then there is, let's see. Oh, this one was pretty cool too. Let's see if I can, I don't know, I'm getting these. Bear with me. I should just do. Goblin. I mean, that's a pretty freaking cool goblin if you ask me. Nubis says, I like AI art for personal use at my table, but I really dislike it in released content. Don't think I'll back anything that uses it. Touche. That's a good point too. Like, okay, I am a consumer and the publisher divulges that, right? It would probably say, oh, and by the way, I'm going to buy my art just so you guys know. So that becomes like a point, right? Like I guess a value add. And you could get people to vote with the dollar, right? Wayne says, I get the stink, but as a small-time RPG creator, it removes a tool from my low-budget repertoire. See, there's Wayne. There's the Waynes of the world. Chris says, I find it interesting that people are so up about the art when it has very little to do with the game experience, and that's an objective statement. It might provide something about a feel and tone, but it's just dressing for what's important, which is the text. No hands, Sean. Yeah. RPG art does a lot for me. It does for me too. I am totally book by the cover guy. I don't know what it is. I would not buy certain products today just based on art. It's terrible. It's shallow. And that's the truth. Like if it's got, look here, challenge you. Do an RPG and do all the art with stick figures and not, what's his name? The guy who did the comic with the stick figures. Try it's black and white stick figure. A fighter, circular head, 2 dots for eyes, arms, a little shield thing, and a sword. Like the art does polish it. It just does. Now it's all subjective, of course, right? I think we can all agree on that. But I don't like Exalted. I'm not an anime guy, and there's a very anime style of artwork when it's like Exalted. Big Eyes, Small Mouth, that's different because it's an anime-based RPG. It's just not my thing. Anime is not me. Wayne Reynolds is kind of worn on me over time. Like the weird ass, here's my character and here's a sword that's this big. I mean, I suppose they did have swords that long, but I don't know if they were like, as wide as a tree trunk. It's just not my style. I was a big Elmore guy, big Caldwell guy. I really liked Keith. Parkinson was bar none one of my favorites. I think more growing up, it was probably Elmore, but I think as I got a little bit older, I think it became Parkinson. Keith Parkinson's stuff was just, rest in peace, is just phenomenal. That was probably one of my favorite fantasy artists. I mean, I was never a big Boris Vahalo guy. It's you know. But I'll tell you what, you see Boris and you automatically go Conan right there. Back in the day, Rembrandt, right? Rembrandt, Hobbit. So yeah, art's a big deal, man. Jeff, my buddy Jeff, man, he would rage. He would rave about the artwork he would get in a book, and it would be the shittiest book, and he would love the artwork. And he would say that. He's like, I hate this game, but I bought it because of the art. But yeah, man, that goblin, that dragon. Let's see, what else did I come up with? I don't know if I'll be able to. I don't want to spend all the time bringing up some stuff that. And I did this because I was going to do an overlay, and yeah, you're going to love this one. And the overlay, see if I can. The thing is with doing something on my own, say I did an overlay for an OBS overlay for stream, and I wanted to put some stock art, or I wanted to use it in a game and stream, but I didn't want to go out and buy it and buy credits and all this other stuff because I'm not making anything. Yeah, Mind Flayer, Illithid, whatever you want to call it, dude. That now here's where I think sometimes art can, like, AI art can come into AI art can come into play. Is you can also do something like this, provide it to the artist and go, this is what I'd like. Can you, like, it's weird. This is what we're going for. Can you create it? So you can give them like insight to your brain and your samples of what you would like the look and feel to be, and then put a call out for artists for that. Does that make sense? I think DWD Studios, I saw on Twitter recently, if you're not familiar with them, they did White Lies and Covert Ops and a few other games, and they were talking about using AI art. They're not using it in their products, but they're using it as a concept model. Like, hey, so instead of saying like, hey, we want this Mind Flayer thing to look like purple and kind of glowing behind its head, and they just go, here, this is what we're kind of going for. Can you do this? I'm not sure how, I don't know how productive it is because you've got this, but yeah, VTT, you know, who says I think images are essential for VTAA play? Yeah, like if you're going to do tokens and things like that. Plus, it's easy. It's easy. I mean, yes, you could do searches on Google Images, and we all know where that's not probably the best way to do things. But, I mean, if you take an image search and you wanted to make tokens for NPCs, where would you go? Okay, well, I get DeviantArt, do an image search on Google, but those you owe money for those, and you're gonna, like, if you, I don't know, I'm gonna start mumbling and stuff. But anyways, these, if I put these in a token or on a stream and say, this is what you see, guess who's gonna sue me? Nobody. Guess whose rights I need to get? Nobody's. Now, I wouldn't use this in a publication, right? Or would I? Look at that. That's not bad. There's no hands in these, right? So, I mean, I get it. I get it. Tad says, same here, Anubis. Really useful and fun for generating NPC portraits, environments, and weird items on the fly. They use it as an improv tool, like a random table. There you go. Sure, Ryan has it has a goatee. Lizards don't have hair or mammary glands. says the guy who was like, we are playing a game with like fireballs, magic, spells, and dragons. Sure, but what, Chris says, sure, but what does it have to do with the game you're running? I mean, the art in the book, after you've run 4 or 5 sessions, Fair. I get the argument, but dude, Paladin in Hell, like it's just iconic. I think it evokes such a tone and feel. It so does. Um, it does. There's a reason you guys got Morrow to do Streets, right? And how to capture it from the height. I mean, you could have probably got a different artist to do it, and it might have been, different. I don't know if it would have been better necessarily or worse, right? But it's not a dictionary. Orca says, I'll be honest, I understand the issues, but the moral and ethical bloviating is very heavy-handed. You aren't going to produce an existential crisis by using or liking AI art. I know, and me just sitting here talking and saying, you know what? I don't know. People would blow head gaskets, man. Like, what? I can't even believe you'd even consider it. Yeah. I am also not going to keep an artist afloat, probably. Like me, I'm not a publisher. I'm not Encoded Designs. I don't have an art order of $1,000 that's probably going to be given to an artist to put food on their plate. I'm just not. That's not me. I'm not in that business. Eventually, if I got to that point, here's the thing. If I'm doing that, I probably have that in my budget. And I'm probably setting that money aside to support the artist because it kind of goes around in that space, right? I could get ChatGPT to frickin' write my RPG if I wanted to. And I could get AI art. Like, what do I do? And people get wind of that. They'll be like, it's not original. Yeah. So you're talking about core book rules. Chris says adventures are different. Gabe Dibbing says to Chris, I'm unlikely to purchase a game that doesn't have beautiful art. It sort of tells me the lack of care, maybe even professionalism. Touche. Chris says, but people are so polarized about the topic, they don't think about the nuance. There are so many games and so much text. Yes. Order of the Stick. Thank you, Laramie. You're awesome. I appreciate it. Order of the Stick is what I was talking about, stick characters. I think, Chris, at this point, the argument is more about supporting human artists' jobs. Chris says, Gabe, and that's the kind of attitude that makes it so quality designers can't get noticed because they don't have the money to pay for decent art. Rich Burlew, that's right. It's true, though. It's a mixed bag in this hobby. It's kind of like this. I'm a very big, I've cut corners on podcasting recently. One thing I vowed not to do is ever use Anchor. Yet a couple of the shows that I've done, they're APs, for expediency and cost. I decided to use Anchor because it's free. But I don't think, I could incur some vitriol on this. I think that there's things you can do across the spectrum of investment in anything. Anything that you do, there's a spectrum of investment. You can do it, on this end, or you can do it on this end. And on this end, it's like going the fast, less expensive way. And on this end, you go all in. You buy the top level, whatever you can afford, blah, 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 blah. Maybe you even take out a loan. Like, this is business, professional end. This is hobby end. And I think, going to Gabe's point, if you're serious about certain things, and some people will say, but Sean, you could be super serious, be in the hobby end and still be super serious and still do things financially, less cost, I will say, right? I don't want to say cheap because cheap's not the accurate word, but it's kind of like, hey, Sean, I want to do a podcast. What do I need? can I just do it with like my Logitech microphone? And like you could take like well, what do you want to do? How serious are you? Well, I don't know. I'm pretty serious. Okay, well, you can take your phone, get the Anchor app, create the app, your podcast on the app, and then literally hit record on your phone and record an episode. To me, yeah, you can do it. Is it the best way to podcast? No, I don't think so. I just took it more seriously, especially with Gaming NBS. Now with the live plays I do, I don't take it that seriously. I mean, I think I'm at like 25 subscribers. 25. That's, actually, I don't even know if I have 25 subscribers. I think I have 25 listens, like total. So I think going back to what I'm trying to do is give I'm speaking on behalf of Gabe's point, is that if you skimp on your budget or writing or editing or paper or whatever, it reflects in the overall production value of the product, of the good. So, I talked about Matt Colville's Strongholds, Followers and Strongholds, or whatever book I have. Meant to add it to this pile. It's not here yet in this pile. But I felt like the paper was really thin. So, I mean, I get it. There's choices to be made because there's cost involved and you want to be profitable. But that also goes to when I was talking about, like, are we paying too little for good stuff? Like, even the good stuff, should something that is like AAA game. What makes it a AAA game in video games? I don't even know, but they're called AAA games for a particular reason. Probably because it's like a couple studios working on it, huge team, huge budget, whatever that looks like. You're gonna know that they're riding a lot on that investment, like on that product. That product doesn't do well, it's bad news. So it's got to do well. And in RPGs, it's all over the place. Boy, is this getting off track. Sorry, guys. Night, Laramie. He's probably been gone already. With you on art as a selling point, Sean, there's a reason I own all these Free League books, even if I haven't played them all. And the gameplay is good, tad. So maybe the art sucks you in. The art will get you, and then the gameplay. I don't know. It's gotta be the full package. It really does in RPGs. I think it does. If you skimp too far on anything, you're going to get docked. Like, there's some games that are laid out like crap. Why? They skimped on an editor, or it reads like crap. Why? Because they didn't hire an editor. Its layout is kind of wonky. Oh, they don't have an index. Fantastic. It's like a little knock, but it's just, if there were an index, well, then that might not be an issue. And it'd be like even just that much better experience. Artwork, we're getting into whole RPG stuff and what Chris deals with every day, but I think artwork, man, I get the debate. But here, it's like piracy too. I think the people like me, maybe you, I don't have an art budget. I don't do RPG publishing. I don't even make RPG products. I'm one of those people that probably some RPG publishers can't stand, or apparently have no cred if you talk to some people, because I've never put out a product. So what the hell do I know? Just some kooky YouTuber, podcaster, give me a break, influencer. I've seen people say stuff like that. Yeah, it's crazy. But we're just not there. We're not going to. Here's the thing. I'm not Pinnacle Entertainment. I'm not Encoded Designs. So the money that I don't pay artists right now is the same money that I'm not paying them tomorrow. Unless I do an RPG product, in which case I would pay artists. I would, for sure. and I would have to pick out the right artist, because I do think sometimes the art can really make the game. Some of the games that I've witnessed that kind of throw me off is when they have 3 or 4 different artists throughout the entire book. It's sometimes for me it throws me for a loop. I don't know why. It seems like there's 4 things going on, even though it's one same book. Well, Sean, that's like almost any RPG book. Many, sure. Especially around the Wizards and TSR days. Like, they had many artists contributing to those different books. But I would say now, with Free League specifically, hey-oh, I know, I'm a shill, self-admittedly. They get usually one artist, not always. I mean, I know if I look on the art credits, there's probably 3 or 4 names listed, but it is a consistent look and feel all the way through. That is specific to trade dress. And sometimes you cannot have that consistency when you're using multiple artists. Why am I getting on this? I don't know. COVID. I'm going to blame everything on COVID for the next month because I can. Anyways. I'm getting hung up on this all day. But it is interesting times. Interesting times indeed. Love the artwork for Planescape. Tony Dieterlizzi, yeah. So Chris, says, I'm not, he's talking about supporting the artists, obviously. I'm saying people don't think enough about what they're actually buying. I have so many trash games with nice art. Yes, for sure. Rises uses stick figures? Maybe. I don't own it. Look, can you have a crappy RPG with great art? Yes. Can you have awesome artwork and a crappy RPG? Did I just say the same thing twice? Yes. Absolutely. You can have it both sides. But I do think the balance has got to be there. It helps. Let's just say that. I mean, you could have an RPG with no art and be the best RPG in the ever-loving world. Here's the kick-ass thing. It has no art in it. It's like this new thing. Here's the deal, no art. I prefer all artists being paid and listed in the credits. Always credit your artists. Hey-oh, says Victor. And Gabe says, I have to agree with that, and it's too bad. I suppose that's why there's so many Kickstarters. I have issues with Kickstarter. Oh, see, we got all kinds of worms, cans of worms in the chat. All kinds, like Kickstarter, yeah, issues. Chris has them. Okay, all right, cool. Let's hear about it. Art. Hey, Chris says, I have a number of Kickstarter games that never made it to the table because I got them a year or two later and didn't care anymore about the game. That's Brett's biggest argument, right? Like, the hype factor is like falling off the earth. For sure. It's like this. Like, it's like the old credit card thing, right? If you get a credit card, they say if you don't want to spend it, just put it in your put it in a block of ice or put it in water, in a bowl of water in your freezer, let it freeze. And then you want to buy something, you pull out that block, your credit card in the block of ice. And if you still want it after all the ice melts, then you go ahead and buy it. Chances are you probably don't. Like, we're very impulsive that way. You ever try that? I haven't. I should. But that's what it's like with Kickstarters for me right now. If I can just get through the hype phase and the posting to the Discords and this is gonna be great. Oh god, it's like $1,000,005 now. Oh, like, Avatar, The Last Airbender, completely not interesting to me because it's not my jam. But if you could just ride that out, if it comes out, you buy it when if it's good. Like Brett now, I think is more like the guy like I'll just buy it when it comes out. Well, what about those Kickstarter rewards? Like, how do I gotta got more? Maybe, but doesn't mean they're great. Fear of missing out, right? FOMO. Orca says, well, if you can't afford any artist, should just shelve your project because others might judge you based upon a slippery foundation of morals and ethics. Yeah, that's a whole nother ball game, right? So it's like, are you using art? Are you using AI art? How are you using it? And are you like, can you supplement it? Look, our art budget's like $500. I don't know what $500 gets you in the art world. The one thing you don't want is you don't want your art showing up somewhere else. It's like, wait a minute, I saw, this is like YouTube clip art that you're going to use everywhere and I can find it anywhere. Like, oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah. Oh, you want it to be kind of exclusive to your own game. I also have no problem with Paizo saying people can't use AI art in their games. It's their game and their prerogative. Yeah, that's for sure. For sure. And you know what? And maybe it leads to people saying, I'm going to pay artists for... Here's the thing, too. One thing that we're not even talking about is one thing that doesn't get a lot of spotlight is per word count cost. Like, who's paying? Like, I'd be interested to know what Paizo pays their freelancers per word. Like, is that out there? Can I find that? What's your rate? I want to know what everybody's rates are because my understanding is MCDM pays the most. MCDM, the one that's been around probably the shortest amount of time, pays their freelancers the most. Like, why are we talking about words per word? Like, there's a whole can of worms to get into. Why are people skimping on paying freelancers less per word? Oh, Sean, it takes money. Yes, and it should. Otherwise, write it yourself. It's kind of the deal. Sean made his own car. It looks like dog shit, but it's his. Or I went out and bought, a Mercedes. I don't know. There's so many comparisons and stuff like that. But anyways, Wayne says, art means a lot to me too. But again, as a small time creator, paid good quality art, it's a huge bar to clear. I mostly use art that is open. AI was going to give me a means to maybe have new stuff. Gabe says, you producers in the chat, Chris, Wayne, any ballpark on how much quality art goes for? Color cover, black and white interior. Yeah, educate us, right? Chris says, I'm also more concerned with layout than art. And I know Chris does comment later. I'm also more concerned with layout than art. Yeah. There's a lot, man. Don't get me wrong. Dude, it's like, it's getting into podcasting. It's so funny. Hit record, speak into a microphone, put it out to the world to consume. Oh, okay. You know how much, like, if I did a podcast like Gaming in BS, how much thought went into that before we hit the airwaves, and then how much it was like shit in the beginning, and then the sound quality got better, and how like all that went into getting into that point. That's what it's like, I'm sure, with Chris and Encoded. Like all the stuff we think like, oh, I'll just pull out Microsoft Word and start typing away, and I'll transcribe my notes into this word processor, and then I'll make a table of contents, lickety split, because all my headers are already there. RPG, boo. Yeah, layout, editing, art, indexing, mechanics, troubleshoot the mechanics, troubleshoot the grammar, like everything. Grammar, I understand, is editing, but give me a break. I mean, the cover, the back cover, what should it say? What shouldn't it say? And then you get like 3 or 4 people that weigh in on it. Oh, I'm sure that's just like fun. Oh, never mind once you get into a license. Wayne says, I paid for a real artist once. Cost me $300. I've never made it back. Chris says, covers are $250 for black and white, $300 to $500 for full color. Depending on size and complexity, the price ranges from $25 to $300. Now, here's the thing. What's the rights behind that, Chris? Because you don't list the rights. The rights are the biggest thing. I'm going to guess that you don't own the image, right? You only license the right to use it. Is that fair? Because I think if you buy outright images, man, that's not expensive, I don't think. It is for probably RPGs, for interior. Okay, appreciate that. I do not begrudge the artists. They were not ripping me off. It's just something not something I can afford. Yeah. I'm with Gabe. That's actually better than I expected too. Like $300, sure. I mean, I think that's like 300. Hi, I did this piece of art. Here's my catalog. Pick one and you get to use it and I will allow you to. And oh, by the way, because it's this picture, I only allow 5 people to use it. So you're only going to see it in yours and 4 other places ever. Should be kind of the thing, right? Like a user rights thing. Where I think if I said, hey, Gabe Dibbing, I want you to come up with the cover of my book, and I don't want anybody ever to use it, and I want it to be one of a kind, well, Gabe's going to charge me like $1,000. I would hope. I imagine larger companies actually pay more. They also have an asset library too, that they probably have all this stuff down, like the rights. Because I understand art is an extra expense, and I'm not saying I'm not buying a book without any art. I see loads of first-time RPG creators use artists, although it's almost all Kickstarter projects. Excuse me. I definitely think that you should clearly state you are using it. I can't fight public sentiment, though. Not the first time nuance is lost in these debates. Chris says, I love ChatGPT as a writing assistant, but I've also watched it write adventures on YouTube. What's up, Michael? Good to see you. Happy Saturday. I think Rice's is still out there with his stick figure art. Yeah. Whoa. Stuff just jumped. Oh, I'm way behind. Where am I, man? Am I that far behind? Holy cow. I am way behind. I apologize, guys. Let me come up to speed here. I opened up a can for sure. Anchorin from Runehammer ICRPG is the best. He does his own art. Some writers are. Like so many things, it should simply be a personal decision and not something used to make a morality judgment. Using it or not using it does not make one better or worse as an individual overall. Oof, it's yeah, it's crazy, man. But there's so much supply, the price is low. I think this is one of the reasons artists who also produce small RPGs have a leg up over writers who are not artists. For sure. Yes, Chris, is to my point. Yes, we should probably pay more for RPGs, but the supply of RPGs is so high, the price can be low. It can be. It doesn't have to be. I mean, Chris, I don't expect you to answer. This is more of a rhetorical question, but I'm wondering, like, if Brett charged if you guys charged $30 for the Streets of Avalon, I think it was like 20, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, multiple copies. Don't worry. This one, I don't know if it has an MSRP on the back. It asked this like a couple weeks ago. What this thing was going for? $29. Say 110 pages, hardbound. Paper's good. I like the paperweight. It's all black and white, very thematic. Same art used throughout. Probably artwork on every. Whoa, there's a. I mean, I think I could count the amount of art pieces in here. I'm flipping through it. But, I mean, I'm just wondering, like, how many people would buy this with extra money? Like, what is the threshold? Because there's a lot of people that would have said, I would pay $5 more for this thing. I don't know. It's hard to get that value piece from people. Can't imagine pricing an RPG nowadays. Eesh. Tad says, I love Free League gameplay, but yes, the art got me to buy and give them a try. The index in the 5th edition D&D book fills me with rage every time I use it. Poor editing, archaic rules layout, cold shadows, criticism. Let it out, Sean. Phil. Dude, I don't know, man. We may have to hang that game up. I don't know. I might have to play it in a in-person game. I don't know. It's I want to like it, but it's probably going to be one of my most regretful games and most hyped. Looks up crafting, see downtime. Just give me a page number. Don't tell me I looked at for the wrong keyword. Hey Ryan. Sorry, buddy. Kelly, I cut my gaming teeth on White Wolf books. I just expect bad indexes from RPG books. Expect more. Chris, the RPG production. Here's how I see it. You need a high quality cover because you need people to want to take note of your book. Then you need a few decent pieces of art that you can use to help make the game interior pop. After that, you best have good layout and editing so it's readable if it isn't good. Next, have a decent setting. If that's part of the game that is 20% different and 80% similar to help your audience get used to it. Last, hopefully your game rules don't suck. Hyperborea has got the best index. Whoa, for Harrigan. He's listening probably. Yeah, I haven't gotten into the next topic yet. I'm glad I led with it. Don't bury the lead. Boom. Excuse me. Gabe says, I think I will look at an RPG on its own terms, judging it on its money demographic. But look at the new Rollmaster. That should be much prettier than it is. Last I heard was 10 to 15 cents a word for Paizo. 10 to 15 cents. Okay. So they vary? Right? Like, so your crap, like, this is your first time, Sean, we're going to pay you 10. See how it goes? Like, to me, it's like weird. That's weird. That's odd. I heard MCDM pays 20 cents. The internet says the average is 0.6 Whoa. I mean, that's where we should be up in arms, man. I don't know why we're even bitching about AI art. Like, if you're gonna write a book, you probably want to start with the word, like price or the dollar per cents per word. Like, talk about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. No, that's not really right. The editors. Let's get into the editors. Okay, Orcus, Dorcas. Let's not go there. Not yet. But it is a good point. That's RPG rates specifically. Interesting. Negotiable between the artist and the publisher for rights. He's so far behind the live chat. I'm so far behind. You're right. Should I just jump forward? Get out. Oh, see you later, Tad. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, thanks for stopping to talk. I got it. I'm up there. He just noticed. Hee hee ha ha. Okay. What's up, Craig? Craig Shipman has graced us with his presence. Please check out Greg Shipman, Third Floor Wars, as he streams 20 times a week and has a interviewed podcast that is launched daily. You start from the beginning. We're talking about AI art, Craig. Because Paizo's like, nope, can't use it in any of our stuff. Ethical and legal questions about the use of computer-generated work are becoming more common and heated. So that's the deal. We just beat that horse badly. This is my favorite YouTube live stream. It's just more what I do every day, but not alone. Here you come. You could offer your insight, man, your expertise, because God knows I could use it. You are hard pressed to find a hobby that delivers more hours of player per dollar. For sure. It's highway robbery. Literally highway robbery. RPG, buy one book, play it for years and years. Look at these guys that are playing AD&D still. Like the guy that's playing his 40-year AD&D campaign. How much money has he put into the hobby? Not as much as you and me buying all these damn books on these racks. Now, I can't say that. That's not saying he or she hasn't bought, 50 other, books. Well, let's admit, let's face it. Like some of us, polyamorous gamist, the ones that like to play lots of different games. We put a lot of money in the hobby. Joe says, Streets of Avalon, I'm one of the people who had paid $125 for it. So I'm outside the norm. Joe, yes. Yeah. You also know Brett. Would you pay that to somebody you really don't know? But that's different, right? It's a personal choice. I think Orcus said that up above, or somebody else did. Like, it's very personal. Like, why you buy something for whatever reason and how much you spend on it, very personal. Like Eileen says the same thing. If I can afford it, I go all in for friends. Yeah, see? There, I'm caught. Am I caught up? I'm caught up. We talk about mic drop, we stout. Yeah. I remember Joe made that beer. Because making money off of books and RPGs is a terrible business model. That's why you see a bunch with miniatures and other stuff that can be sold evergreen afterwards. What does it take to be profitable in RPGs? We all know how unprofitable it is. What's it going to take to be profitable? Kind of touched on it last week. I don't know. I don't know if I have the answer to that. I am probably the worst person to answer that, but that should be, Craig, that should be the answer. That should be a question you put in one of your shows. Monty Cook, who'd you interview? Shauna Germain, You've interviewed a butt ton of people. Dennis, Detwiller, like these guys have been around for a long time. One of your questions should be, what does it take to be profitable in this industry? Like, why do you think everything is like done on shoestrings and Ken Hite, like Robin D. Laws they have significant others that are probably supporting them. Like, what does it take? Rob Schwab, perfect example. It would be awesome if one of these guys just said, like maybe Colville. It would like his patron would be interesting if it wasn't just the creative process, but it was like everything. Here's the deal. These are the checks we're cutting. This is the amount. This is how much we're going to pay him per word. These are the art. This is what we're paying for it. This, here we have to come up with the different decisions. Like, peel it all back. And here's what it all looks like. YouTubers and podcasters and people that have no clue what it takes to make an RPG product. And then, oh, by the way, we don't know if it's going to be successful. Dennis interview touch on it? It's been a while since I listened to it. I know it's been like a couple of years since you talked to him, but I do remember that piece to some degree. But it is like, he's going to go through the creative process. Great. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Let's do grapple. How is that going to work? How do we want it to look? Great. I'm interested to know all about this stuff that's like, why is there such a it's maybe not even a misnomer, but why is it so profound that you can't make money in RPGs? One reason is I'm wondering, like Brett's always talking about it's a hobby. It's not an industry. It's a hobby. Well, there's plenty of other things that are done in hobbies that make a lot of money. Archery is one of them, I'm sure. Places that make bows aren't probably, starving for money. It just depends on what the hobby is. So, right. I think the answer is look at the people who are making money and why are they making money? That would be probably a good start. It's probably a good start. You're right, Chris. All right, let's. Ooh, all right, woo. Man, that was a long time. It was like an hour. All right, so what else? Okay, so yeah, this. But I still think like, oh, hey, we're going to rule out AI art, but are they paying per word to their freelancers the highest in the industry or above average? Because I would say, hey, you kind of got to pick the hill you're going to die on here. And I think the word count is kind of, I don't know. I would hope that they're paying top dollar. Like, wouldn't you want to be known? Like MCDM, people know, like they pay well because you know what? They tell people this is what we pay. No secret. We pay them well. That's the deal. Right for us. Tabletop news show announced. I mentioned this. I finally pulled up the article. 2 Kings Entertainment's launching a weekly online news show to compete with me. Oh, they are. The appropriately named Tabletop News will cover tabletop RPGs, card games, and board games. Okay, so I fall short in a couple of those, as well as actual play streams. Okay, another one. Competitive tournaments. Yep, not that one. And general shows. The upcoming show, which is described as Sports Center meets Tabletop, will be hosted by a rotating cast that includes a number of faces familiar to TTRPG and other web streaming fans. Confirmed hosts include Becca Scott, Carlos Luna, Michelle Wynn Bradley, Xander Genere, Katie Wilson, butchering probably names, I apologize, Serena Marie, and Nathan Andresic. Yeah. Here, I think I could pull this off. I think anybody can pull this off. In today's world, you just gotta have time. They're getting some money though, some cash. While Tabletop News is their most ambitious project yet, Two Kings Entertainment has been working in the industry since 2015, mostly producing commercials and product reveals of various tabletop projects. Notable clients of Two Kings include Pathfinder, publisher Paizo, and a premium tabletop RPG product maker, Beetle and Grimm's. Tabletop News has also been in the works for over a year. I wonder, it'll be interesting. They're launching a Kickstarter in March. Just strange, I guess. I don't, yeah. I should, I don't know. Could I do a Kickstarter and produce a show, like, and have a set and everything? Probably wouldn't get as much money, but I don't know. Tabletop gaming is a growing industry with hundreds of publishers and several major silos of news. Like other hobby-based industries, tabletop news is mostly carried by fan sites and video channels, although online coverage of tabletop games have grown over the past few years. That will be interesting. I'm interested to see. I mean, I see some screenshots of what they're doing. It's the barrier of entry in doing this is so low. Here is the perfect example of hobby and professional. And could Sean and a crew do this for minimal cost? Yes. Do I need a Telecaster and a whole set to do it? No. Would it be as successful? I don't know. I think you could. I think if you had, and I don't even know, I don't know what will make this popular. If it's, maybe it's the confirmed hosts, because they're bringing people in with them because they have a following already. You obviously want to pay the people. I would not. Just ask Brett. Brett, thanks, buddy, for all those years. I appreciate it, man. I think in some ways you need to be diversified in different areas to make RPG more interesting, to the point that people are willing to pay the higher price. That means also get into miniatures, etc. Also using Kickstarter to gauge interest. Not a fan of them using Kickstarter. Two Kings is not short of funds. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But maybe they're like, we'll see what happens. We'll do Kickstarter because we don't want to use all our money. Good. You've proven you always have your finger on the pulse of how to do the tech side of things. Thanks, Chris. I had an idea, and I mentioned this on the stream before. Like, I don't think this would be hard to pull off. It wouldn't be in person, which would probably be ideal. And a lot of these folks are out in LA, man. I think I was talking to, who was I talking to? Booger. I can't remember who I was talking to. But they're out in LA, and that's where like things are like, it's like, this is like very common, I think, out in LA. You could get most of these people are probably living out there, you know, and it's probably, I don't know if like studios down, is it like there's a studio down every street? I don't know what that looks like, but could Sean ask and answer own questions? His own question? No. Yes. Will people still watch? Yes. Could Sean ask and answer his own questions? Yes. Will people still watch? Yes. I don't know. I think there is a market for this format. And it's something I'd love to do. I think it's like Gaming and BS +1. I think it's one notch more And I don't think it would be a podcast. I think it's got to be video, and I think it's got to be live, because this is not going to be evergreen stuff. So you can catch it, but if you don't catch it that day, then it's like our dice are fair and balanced. That's very good, Orcus. You need at least one more host and a producer for sure. Well, I'd want 2 or 3 hosts. Bill Maher. Like him, don't like him. Totally get it. But the format of his show is what I would shoot for. That's what I would want. Chris says that's the place. It's where Critical Role and Dimension 20. Kimmy is who I was talking to from Brain Fog from Happy Jacks. Because I was talking to her about, our Discord and the community. Frankly, we don't have a lot of diversity in it, and she's like, "Well, where are you?" Like, I'm in Wisconsin. She's like, "Well, there is a difference between LA and Madison, Wisconsin." That's a whole another conversation, but it made it sound like out there is just easier to, I don't know if it's easier to pull these things off, but I think the resources are more prevalent. I mean, there's people that are out there that are probably amateur videographers and video and editors that aren't working for big studios that are probably pretty damn good. And still, I don't know. Like, if you're going to be in, like some would say, if you're going to be in tech, then you got to be in Silicon Valley. I don't believe that, but there's people out there making some big bank. Must be video, but pre-recorded. And all those folks are professional actors' personalities in one way or another. Sure. Tight 5 to 10 minutes, then do a live interactive later. Yeah. Yes. That's right. That's right. You got it, Craig. Come out, do the monologue. Right? It's like every night. It's not even late night, right? Because late night's even bleh. Because you're just on a guest pimping a film. Like, having a true dialogue about some of these things with other people, the only thing is getting the, like, I hate arranging guests. It's just a pain in the butt. Doesn't have to be pre-recorded. Then do a live interactive, maybe. I'd like it live. We're doing it live. This is the deal. I would have to get a tight outline, and here you do, here's the deal. But they come, those guests come out on whatever Bill's show is. Not to promote Bill Maher, but booking schedules are the worst. Dude, I don't know how you do it, Craig. GM Mastermind just killed me. It's just like, the so not fun part of it. And it was like, I have to get, like, I considered myself to have it all pretty tight. Like, here's the document that tells you everything you need to know. Here's some more information I want from you, because I don't have it all. So please tell me, like, how do I address you? So I'm trying to get information from the people that are going to be on. But I wanted to be sensitive from not having them jump through hoops. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir, but I could have I could have a couple steadies, even a small rotation, and then they would all get it. And I think after the first 5 to 10, people would be like, I get the format of the show. And I don't know, maybe there's something novel about something maybe novel about, okay, these aren't industry professionals, but then they're, you do get cred when you're talking to somebody like Chris, right? Hey, this is Chris from Encoded Design. He's put out, 10, 20 titles or whatever the case is. Anyways, I thought this was interesting. I'm interested to see how it happens. It's like G4. It's probably like a G4 TV, old geek TV show ish. Yeah. But dude, we we have to talk. We got to talk about your post, dude. It's almost like I know how to talk on a mic. Yeah. Yep. Hot topics roundtables undeserved, underserved, right? Yeah, underserved. I can't read. All right, what else? I thought that was interesting. Would you watch it? Let me ask you this. You guys are here, so you're probably a little biased, but I'm interested. Like, does that format interest you? And does it matter who talks about it? Yeah, still my favorite YouTube live stream. Well, see, here's the thing, too. It's just me in the chat. Like, without the chat, this show sucks, So, thankfully, had a previous audience. Hey, Sean's doing this thing. I'll check it out and see if it's interesting. Some of us have gamed together. Some of us know each other. Some of us recognize a lot of our handles. Some of us go to each other's Discords. Like, right? A lot of people have watched Third Floor Wars and know who Craig is and listen to his podcast. Like, there's a lot of crossover. So I've been blessed. Otherwise, this show would suck. Like, it would. But I'm interested to know if anybody would be interested in that, like, type of format. A little more tight like this, but maybe a little tightened up. The only problem is I don't think I would have the chat be as prominent, right? I know. Yeah. Dude, I got like, I've been doing this for like 2 years, I think, Chris. But it's weird because it's live, so people got to get up at 8 in the morning. Because I was going to do this like other show on Tuesday nights or something, like, prime time. 8 Central Time, and see if that would be, even 9 Central Time could be late enough. Yeah, I don't know. It could be cool to have a virtual set, but I have a, well, whatever. One of Sean's brainchild's never getting off the ground. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about? I don't think we're going to get to everything today. Well, let's see. Oh, booger. We'll what are the news? Should we go to the news digest? VC, where have you been? Where have you been, VC? I've been looking for you. Yeah, 6 a.m. That's early. Like, you guys are diehards for sure. And there's some people that watch this after the fact, which is a little interesting because then you don't get the live thing. So you just kind of listen to me. It's got to be weird. Not what I've heard people wanting to type and then realize, damn it, it's recorded. Gabe, I'd have to check it out. I listen to you, Sean, because of you. Thank you, Gabe. Other personalities may have little to say to me. Fair. Have you discussed the $500,000 funded OSR RPG? No, I haven't. Somebody brought it up earlier. It's something I haven't backed. Is it OSR? Is it not OSR? I mean, not yet. I have not. Should we go to that? Let me go to the news. Let's go to the news here. What's news here? Because this could cover a lot quick. Paizo announced an update Starfinder with the release of Starfinder Enhanced. It's enhanced. Enhance. Starfinder Enhanced. There you go. Similar to the Unchained line for Pathfinder, this update is not a new addition, but a new collection, or a collection of new options. Oh, there you go. For Starfinder fans, they'll be like, oh my god! Oh my god! Pathfinder also announced the return to Tian Sha with a new adventure path and new source books. I remember when that came out. A long time ago, I think. Doesn't it say when it originally came out? It does not. It's coming out. This one's coming out in 2024, though. Here the AI. Da. Look at that owlbear. He's a dancing owlbear. Coming up, coming up. Stop me now. Yeah, there you go. $14 each. Some figures coming out based on the movie. Let's see. Home Guard Press announced paperback reprints of the classic Lone Wolf series of adventure books. Subversion. Fragging Unicorn Games launched Kickstarter for their urban fantasy cyberpunk game Subversion. There you go. I'm not sure what they decide is like news and what is crowdfunding. Like this is crowdfunding, but it's in the news section. I don't know. Ian World, check it out. Here, I'll put links. Thanks for Ian World for supplying my gas. Yeah, VC says, I'm usually up. I just don't usually show up until late. What's up, Jason? Speaking of late. Hey, look at that transition. Thanks, VC. Good morning. Arriving late. Have a great weekend. Yeah, but if they're from other communities, they'll bring their audience and opinions to mesh with Sean's. Maybe. Solid Blade Runner reference. Come on, Hasbro, you make toys. That looks awful. Are the Lone Wolf books finally out in the US? They have been released with the remainder of the series scheduled for releases 2023 and 2024. So the Flight from the Dark, Fire on the Water, and the Caverns of Collide have been released. And then the remainders are to be out. Orcus. Let's see. So let's do RPG print news. Print news. Whoops. I'm like, try this window. The Dragon's Hoard issue number 26 by Legendary Games out, fifth edition softcover supplement. The Black Hack 2nd edition box set is out for $67. New expanded 2nd edition rules that mixes original 70s D&D. D&D with more modern rules like advantage and disadvantage. Cool. What is this? M Space Odd Soot Elevation First Contact by Frostbite Books. D100 Science Fiction is the D100 Science Fiction system. Hardcover core rulebook, softcover core rulebook, softcover adventure. Are they really square? Interesting. That's a lot of right up there. M Space includes everything needed to play sci-fi games, create imaginary universes, and play characters from a variety of cultures and careers. You pilot starships, meet strange alien life forms, visit fantastic worlds. Basically, it is Star Trek if money was actually needed to make things and explore space. Oh. Hey, what are you doing? No. You don't get up. Damn it. Stop. The Wandering Heroes of Ogregate. Ogregate N and the Strange Land of Lifan. House of Paper Shadows. Strange Tales of Songling. Unique D10 dice pool called the network system. Artwork. Wandering Heroes of Ogregate is a game of gravity-defying martial artists inspired by wuxia film and drama series. It comes with martial arts fantasy setting inspired by Song Dynasty China. It can be used in any ancient Chinese or wuxia campaign. Hey, is Eric and are those guys still doing God, what's the podcast? They're done as far as I can tell. Oh, that sucks. Because I would have thank you, Zhang Hu Hustle. Because I would have wondered what they would have thought of this. Terror Hog, crawl space event by Peyton Publishing, $20. Sightings of giant hogs have increased alarmingly in the Kissimmee River swamps east of Sarasota. PCs are a film crew sent to confirm the existence of Terror Hog on film. Oh, jeez. Unique system. Interesting. Terror Hog. Includes an optional player drinking game based on PC role-playing. RPG should be well-written, fun to read, and fun to play. This one gets high marks in all 3 categories. So that's it there. And then the other thing is crowdfunding. Let's see. Here we go. I got cottonmouth so bad. Damn COVID. All right. Crowdfunding news. City Mist Local Legends. $89 the typical pledge. Fully funded. Bam, boom, pow. Powered by the apocalypse. Superheroes, noir, and tags. City Mist is a place from another time with superpowers offered up as a cool way to solve mysteries. Thanks, Joe. Accessible Gaming Quarterly, Year 4. Accessible Gaming Quarterly Year 4 from Accessible Games, System Neutral RPG Zine. This is Year 4 for this zine, dedicated to lifting up accessibility in RPGs. These zines come out quarterly and have achieved some impressive numbers. $11 issues over 3 years with 618 pages, 85 articles. Still got some ways to go for funding. This project gives advice for disabled GMs and gamers, as well as ways to introduce disability into your games. Inclusive artwork. Speaking of artwork, hey, look at this. Fantasy stock art. Disability representation for TTRPGs. Is it funded? RPG stock art, $50 plus optional crowdfunder processing fee for the commercial license and full access to the stock art. See, here's the thing. If you get in on this Kickstarter, you can use the artwork, but then everybody else can too, which that's like... And it doesn't say it's funded or not. Oh, it's probably because it's on Crowdfunder. I don't even know. Let's see. Well, 132% of goal, so they funded. $1,000 goal. Let's see. Harn World, 40th anniversary hardcover, authentic medieval role-playing setting. Who's? You're kidding me. Take my money. $69 shipping and handling. 40 years of Harnworld. 40 years. How big is this book? 256-page book. Harnworld, 40 years. Think it should be worth more? Amazing achievement, especially with the project scope and history. To celebrate, Columbia Games is offering a deluxe hardcover of the core setting book with updated chapters and other improvements. Includes Harnworld, 58 pages, Harndex, 152, Kythera, 10, Lithia, 32 pages, and 4 pages on cities and towns, each a different entry full of detail and information. $100. Yeah, it's up there. Monster of the Week. This has gotten a lot of buzz. Evil Hat. $80 is the popular one. This is on backer kit. I imagine it's doing fairly well. Look at that. $166K with a $30K goal. Evil Hat, they know how to run it. They know how to run a Kickstarter, right? My browser takes up so much freaking memory. I swear to all that is holy. Alice is Missing, Silent Falls. I did not get in on this. 10 grand was the target. They're at 152 grand. Look at that. See ya, Eileen. An award-winning RPG that is active development at Paramount Plus. Go Gadget. It'd be interesting to find out how that all gets sliced up, right? Do you want to run it for me? I'd run it for you. I do have Alice is Missing. Yep. I got in on I think I got in on the first Kickstarter. I have it, yeah. I do have it. I have it. I've run it. Run it twice. Oosh, congestion. I ran it for a bunch of randos, Chris. I think, except for one. Who was it Roger? Somebody else was with me. It's me. Oh, I can't remember. You never played it? I could play it. It's about a 2-hour game. 2-hour all in. 90 minutes actual play. Wow, it's good. It's an experience for sure. Discord template, very easy. Cthulhu actually allows me to use his Roll20 because he has the game on Roll20, so it has all the cards and the templates and stuff. Yeah, it's an experience. I wouldn't get into it because I don't know if I need the expansion because I haven't, I've run it twice. And it's going to be different every time. But I get it. Deep Dark, an underground TTRPG microzine by Gallant Knight Games. Original system. So we're on Crowdfunder. Porcelain Souls. Penny for a Tale. We're on a lot of crowdfunders. Core rulebook, $15. RPG horror is something different. You play as human essence trapped in a doll's body. Moving across the carcass of the world, you'll encounter original horrors in this dead world. From the team behind Necrobiotic and using a similar system, this card-based RPG makes you a doll-like being in a post-apocalyptic world. Those don't look as creepy dolls as some of them. What is that? What's going on here? Strange. Dolls can be creepy. If you run it, I'll be happy to record the audio version, edit it, and release it on MMP and use it as promotion for Out RPG. So it is silent. We have streamed it. The group that I ran it for the second time, I literally found them in a Twitch chat room. And I'm like, they were like, this is so great. I said, if you guys want to play it, I'll run it for you. They're like, oh, that'd be awesome. So literally, like, I never had met 3 of the players. You know what went well? They streamed it. I don't know how it turned out stream wise because it's kind of hard to read. Hope Finder, Modern Zombie Apocalypse Hack of Pathfinder 2E by Jason Bullman. Interesting. That must be Jason's. The Minotaur Games is Jason's company. Huh. Jason Bullman created our Pathfinder RPGs, making Pathfinder 2E variant that takes place in the modern day during a zombie apocalypse. With AMC and Free League's The Walking Dead RPG coming this year, 2023 is showing some early signs of zombie resurgence. Yeah, it's going to be the year of the zombie. How did you do that? I don't know. Dude, it was... I just said, this is what we're going to use for the timer. This is what we're going to use. We're going to use Discord. Here's all the channels. And I don't know how they set it up. I don't know if I ever actually watched what it turned out like. I don't know how you would pull it off. Because I think you almost have to, one way to do it, side tangent, sorry, Chris got me off on this, is you could do a picture of each person, very small, and then just dotted lines to the different chats. And then hopefully those chats are big enough that the viewer could read them. But I don't know how you would do it, honestly. And you need to have it long enough so that they could see it if you don't catch it in real time. If I could probably find it for you. Shoot. I'm sure I follow the channel that recorded it. I can't remember her name. Fedora was one. She was a player and she has her own channel. I can't remember if she streamed it or if somebody else. Raven. Gothic horror role-playing game TTRPG from Shadowland Games. Maelstrom System. Gothic horror and cursed magic. Inspired by the works of Edgar Allan Poe. Set in the ancient aristocratic city of Raven. Funded in euros. Not a Baywatch Cthulhu mashup. What? Edgemade Press. Baywatch Nights. Why does it got to be Baywatch Nights? Why can't it be just Baywatch? Where's Mitch? Meets the Cthulhu mythos in an RPG zine. The Hoff meets Hestur. It's a golden combination. Funded. That's it. That's it. And I think, look at that. We're like on time, kind of. So that's all I'm going to cover for the week, yo. I appreciate all the lively discussion at the beginning. Super, super, super awesome. Always good to see everybody. Thanks for showing up. Yeah, you bet, man. Thanks for showing up, Chris. I appreciate it. I like seeing you here. I like seeing everybody here. What am I doing here? Here we go. Who's I haven't corrected this. Who's I know. I am aware. Only here though. After I go away, I forget about it. I'll correct it though. But thanks for everybody for the well wishes. I'm going to go intend to make sure my wife is being okay. And she's going to be going through the rough patch now. So thank you for everybody here that has supported me via Patreon. I appreciate it. There's a link in the text if you're interested. Otherwise, showing up, giving this a like and a subscribe goes just as far. If not, tell somebody. You're right. People might not know about this, and if they find it interesting and they want to stop in, I stream every Saturday at 8 a.m. Central Time US for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours like we did. I don't think there's anything else I need to update. My gaming might be kind of crunching in the next couple weeks, but we'll see. Yeah, players missing and things of that nature, but really appreciate all you folks showing up in the chat. Without you, I couldn't do this every Saturday. So thank you very much. Otherwise, I will let you go. Make time for yourself and others. Do some gaming and be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby. And I'll see you next week. Ciao.